Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Terror Time Tea. I will be returning rather, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, along with Candace. We're going to be having another edition of Friday Foolish. We're going to be talking about weird and unique foods. Hey, Chris. Chris is drinking his tea, evidently. But before I get into things, I'm always a day late and a dollar short with especially this Terror Time tea lately. I am finishing up getting my little snack to go with my tea ready, and I will be right back. So just bear with me, folks. What are you doing?
Well, I like smelly candles and I like horror movies. I just wish I could put them together.
No, you can, thanks to Deadites on Dead Car Shop.
What?
We have Freddy's Nightmare. You know what that sounded like, Steve?
Charred flesh.
No, marshmallow.
Oh, I did it.
But we also have other scents.
I don't have any.
We have Henrietta Honeysuckle. We have the stuff. It's cupcake scented. We have the all new Christine's Fury cherry cola scented.
Cherry cola.
It's so great I can't even speak.
Cherry cola.
And Farmer Vincent's Critter Fritter. You know what scent that is, Steve?
Terror or horror motel?
No, bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah. It's bacon. Yeah. Okay.
Kevin Bacon.
So do you know what else we have at Deadites on Deck?
There's no way you got t-shirts.
I just
What's this?
It's the all new I Love Robert England shirt.
How did I get this on?
I put it on you when you're sleeping.
Oh.
And you also have the Friday Foolish shirt with Dana and Candace that you can usually watch every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Wow.
So what else do we have?
I'm going to go take a nap.
We have Booga Booga Bears that you can customize with your favorite horror design.
I'm going to go take a nap.
Steve sleeps with his every night. That's actually mine, but he's running off with it. So, in addition to all of that, I'm not done yet. This is like, he's going to destroy my Booga Booga Bear. Okay, we have teas for. You need to put that up. Dorothy's
I got a Booga Booga dog.
So we have Terror Time teas. We have England's elderberry spice. Doesn't that look like Robert England to you?
Sure, let me take my. Yeah, it looks just like him.
We have Angela's Honeybee Sting.
Sting.
We have Bates Motel Breakfast Blend.
Breakfast blends.
Leatherface's Lemongrass.
Kiss my ass.
Herbert's Folly. And what else do we have? We have Mr. Joe Spinell drinking his tea. And guess what kind he's drinking, Steve? He's drinking Maniac Mint.
Whoa.
So, do you think everybody should go to deaditesondeck.com?
I think everybody should go with your SSI check or your paycheck and spend 35% of their total income on Dana's stuff.
Only 35%?
Okay, 48% of your monthly income.
Look at this great t-shirt that you can get.
Yeah. I heart gloves, Robert England. And this dog. With you get a free dog with every purchase.
No, we don't have enough dogs to do that.
Oh,
Once 5 purchases was up, we'd be out of dogs, Steve.
well, this is some great stuff, Dana.
Yeah.
Where can we get all this and more?
We can get this at the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop at deaditesondeck.com. Visit us now
Visit often.
and spend a lot of money. No, I'm just kidding. Bye, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry. I picked the wrong one that didn't have the little spiel with the website address on it. So I was trying to do that real quickly, but I hope you enjoyed the commercial, one of the commercials for the Deadites on Deck store. Uh, but we did say that it was deaditesondeck.com is where you can go to get all of the horror merchandise you could possibly want. Hey, Blissful. Now, I was fixing myself a little snack, and you can see I ate some of it right now. This is an American biscuit. This is not an English scone or uh, their version of biscuits. Um, but it does have clotted cream on it, which I've become a huge fan of, and also some Concord grape jelly. I'm once again having watermelon tea today because, man, I just love this stuff. So it was watermelon tea yet again today. Again, this stuff, my taste buds say it tastes like watermelon bubblicious gum, and it's absolutely delicious. So, um, I've already reminded everybody that me and Candace will be on at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. We're going to be talking about weird and unique foods, so be sure to tune in for that. If you want to join us, Chris, if you think you might want to join us during your lunch, I'll be sure to send you that link for Friday Foolish because I sent it to Candace and I think that I um, neglected to send it to Chris like I usually do because I'm about half crazy, as anybody that knows me knows. Also, no watch alongs this weekend and no movie munchies. That stuff will return next Saturday and Sunday. So you can look forward to all of that next weekend. Um, I do apologize that last night I was feeling under the weather and did not get to do the triple threat review show for Seductive Poison. That should return next Thursday. So I also have a new logo for Terror Time Tea that I created last night. Also, I created some more Scooby Doo horror mashup designs. I figured out a new way to do these things that makes them look more like cartoons. I redid the one of me and Candace, um, and I did one for Joe Bob and Darcy. And I've got a bunch more that I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a variant for both Robert England and Kane Hodder, who I already have available on the shop, but this is going to be a variant design. So if you don't much care for the other design and you say, hey, I like this design better, then you will soon be able to choose that as an option if you want to get one of the Scooby Doo horror mashup shirts. Um, and I guess I could, before we get to the movies here, I guess maybe I could bring that up. Just give me 1 second, gang. For anybody that didn't get to see them. Now, I know Blissful, I sent, I sent her, I think I sent her both. Maybe I didn't. Um, but I will show everybody as soon as I find them here. The new one I did for me and Candace. Let me get back in here and I will Share my screen. So this is the one that I did for me and Candace. There was another one, and that one will be available too. Um, maybe I'll have to think about it. But this one I like so much better. In fact, me and Candace look more like cartoons. We look more like cartoons that you would see in a Scooby Doo cartoon. So I really, really like this one. And this is the Joe Bob and Darcy one that I did last night. It took me a little bit to find the Joe Bob that I wanted through AI. They kept trying to put like an old man mustache on him where he looked like a oil tycoon down in Texas. And I was like, nah, that's not really what I want. So I ended up using this one. And I think the Darcy one turned out very cute as well. So those designs will be up on the site as soon as I can get my button gear and get those on there. Blissful, you say I love that design, and then I showed you. Yeah, I'm crazy, Blissful. I can't remember from one time to another who I've showed what. So unfortunately, I must be boring people because I've only got two people in here right now, and that's probably Blissful and Chris. So hopefully I haven't drove everyone off because I am going to get to these movies. Could be that they're not interested in these movies too, which is okay. That's fine. Okay, so let's get to the movies, shall we? You will also notice that I do have a headline, or it's called a headline underneath Evil Dead Chick, that I'm going to try to keep on there that advertises the shop, deaditesondeck.com, in case anybody were to forget what the web address is for my shop. Gritchy say, yep, I'm here. All right, so let's get to this first movie. And there may be a lot of you that have never even heard of this movie nor have seen it. And that's Mardi Gras Massacre. Um, anything though that has says American splatter movie, like that piques my interest. You know, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie, but it could be so bad it's good, right? And it has a little tagline. Everyone is celebrating. Nobody hears the screams of the victims or the sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, in that cover's just absolutely fantastic. Um, of course, this cover could lull you into. I'm not saying the women are unattractive on here, but they ain't nearly as attractive as the woman that's depicted on the front of this movie. And Steve wondered why in the world I got this and why in the world I got it on Blu ray too. He's like, why would you get a movie like that? Now, I know me and Steve have these conversations often, right? So, is this a good movie? Heck no, it's not. But I do find it entertaining. Some people might find it a little slow in spots. Um, it is 96 minutes, which is a little longer than other movies that are in the similar vein. Yeah, exactly, Chris. That is a perfect way to describe it. Grindhouse pulp style art. And that's always the kind of stuff that piques my interest and makes me want to watch a movie um, when I see something like that. So let's give a little plot synopsis for this, shall we? This is called a trashterpiece. Okay, so that should tell you a whole lot right there. Jack Weiss was a New Orleans based writer, producer, and director. And I'm betting Dirk is probably, since he's from Louisiana, he is probably familiar with Jack Weiss. Jack Weiss only did 5 films in his filmmaking career, but he became one of the most enigmatic figures in 70s exploitation. And this is one of the reasons why. Okay. So this was his final film. He delivered a filth fueled, disco drenched, and gore soaked epic of butchered hookers, hard boiled homicide cops, and a prissy psycho with an Aztec sacrifice fetish that remains a once in a lifetime sleaze experience. And I would have to agree with all of that. Um, Kurt Dawson, who was also in Bloodbath, Ronald Tannant, Crypt of Dark Secrets, and February 1975 Playboy Playmate Laura Mish star in this shocking yet hysterical fever dream of regional filmmaking. And Bleeding Skull said that. With a soundtrack by Dennis Coffey and Mike Theodore of Black Belt Jones fame, this is still banned in the UK. I don't really understand why it's still banned in the UK. Perhaps Darren, if Darren popped in here, I could ask him. As one of the original DPP 39 video nasties. That's probably one of the reasons I got it. One of the big reasons. Now featuring a 2K master compiled from the best surviving post Katrina elements and a revealing new interview with Weiss himself. The trash film critic called this a grindhouse classic. It's brutish, nasty, unapologetic, and sleazy, like some of the best nights of your life. That is almost like a perfect blurb for a movie like this. Rock Shock and Pop said ridiculously entertaining, one of those amazingly wretched but blissfully effed up films that you need to see for yourself. Okay. Um, yeah, I'd agree with some of that, but as we know, I'm not saying everybody does this, but I know some entities out there on the web um, will give everything like a 4 or 5 star review. And some people might be thinking, well, Dana, you do that a lot too. Yeah, but I'm not doing it for the sole purpose of ending up splashed all over a DVD or a Blu ray cover or a 4K cover. Um, and I think some of these entities do because it helps them stay current. It keeps them in people's mind, you know, so they, hey, we don't forget about this entity or that entity. So I get it. In a lot of cases, it's a business strategy. So, did I have fun with this? Yeah, I did. Um, Not quite as much fun as I have other similar films. Um, I mean, for instance, Blood Harvest is considered a regional horror film. It's low budget. It's outrageous. It's got Tiny Tim. No. And I like it better than Mardi Gras Massacre. It's, I like it. I enjoy it. But probably if you ask me between Mardi Gras Massacre and Blood Harvest, which one do I watch more? It's Blood Harvest, hands down. Um, but I still find this one entertaining, even though I don't like to watch it as much as something like Blood Harvest. Um, a lot of, or some of you out there may take a look at this film. If you can find it for a free version, I say go for it. Give this one a try. Um, I mean, a lot of it is similar to Blood Feast, even Blood Diner. Even though I think Blood Diner is a little bit more well made than either Blood Feast or Mardi Gras Massacre. But it has some of those same themes of trying to bring about the rebirth of some kind of goddess or something. In this case, it's an Aztec entity. Oh, thank you, Rambo. I appreciate that a whole lot. Um, he said, just stopping by, showing support for the channel. And that's awesome. Thank you for the $2. Every dollar helps me out. And as promised, I try my best to put any and all monies that come in through the channel back into the channel. The same thing with the shop as well. Oh, Rambo, it's fine. Just the simple fact that you stopped by here and said that you were showing support, and I wouldn't care if it was 50 cents, Rambo. Heck, I wouldn't care if you just came by here and said, I'm showing support for the channel. I really, really appreciate you, Rambo, and I appreciate you stopping by as well. Yes, Rainbow is the man, Chris. um, I've been, a long time watcher of Rainbow. I don't know if he knows this. I'm not somebody that anymore comes into to live streams and comments a lot. I wish that I could. But unfortunately, me doing my own channel and me doing the shop and stuff kind of prevents me from doing that like I would like to. But that doesn't mean I don't watch Rainbow's reviews and stop by and see what they're talking about from time to time. Hey, Blair. Yeah, well, I'm kind of like a silent person. Rambo, I come in there and I don't say anything, so you don't know I'm there. Um, but I am interested in what you're talking about because you are very knowledgeable. And I hate to say it, and this is not meant to offend anybody. Um, but there, honestly, I think there is a shortage of people, at least on YouTube, that know what in the hell they're talking about. Um, and I'm not including myself in that group that knows what in the hell they're talking about. I'm probably more along the lines of you know I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But Rainbow, he knows what he's talking about. And Chris, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, I'm really excited about Chris getting his channel uh, up off the ground and stuff because Chris is going to do some amazing things that I think is going to blow us all out of the water. So you're very welcome, Rambo. I have to give credit where credit is due. And you have you're one of those people that certainly paid their dues as far as YouTube's concerned. Um, and you put up a lot of crap from YouTube and probably a lot of crap from just people being buttheads. So hats off to you is what I want to say. Um, so is Mardi Gras Massacre worth a watch? Well, in my opinion, yes. But like I say, don't go out and buy this unless you watch a for free version and you like it enough that you can justify paying the cost for Mardi Gras Massacre. Because, folks, I got this from Severin, and everybody knows how Severin's prices are. So you kind of have to be choosy when you get stuff from Severn. If you ask Steve, I'm not too choosy about what I get. I mean, I get things like Horror House on Highway 5, for goodness sakes. Um, Chris, you say I'm the world's biggest procrastinator, but it's coming as soon as I can get another laptop. Awesome. We'll we'll all be looking forward to it, Chris. Um, so as always, these things are usually pretty quick with me. I get on here, I talk about a couple of movies, and I have some tea and a snack sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the rating for this one because I always like to give a rating. I'm going to give this one a 3 deadites out of 5 because is it the most fantastic thing ever? No, but it is enjoyable to me to watch. I think it has a lot of entertaining elements. Um, the sheer audacity that somebody would make a film like this is one of the most intriguing parts of a lot of these very low budget regional uh, films, especially the horror films, because for one thing, having a very low budget forces you to be more creative, right? Now, I have seen movies that are the exact opposite. They didn't have any money and they didn't become creative. In that case, I think that's lazy filmmaking. But this was not lazy filmmaking. I think Weiss did a decent job with this one. Um, I found myself laughing at some parts of the film, but that's all part of the charm, I think. If you're laughing instead of saying, "Oh my God, why did they do that?" then I consider it entertaining. So I give this one 3 deadites out of 5. And that's Mardi Gras Massacre. So see if you can find a for free copy. It could be on Tubi. Who knows? Tubi's got all kinds of stuff that you can check out. All right. So moving on to probably a more known film. Okay. And it's an anthology film, which I love anthology horror. I always have. And so we have 4 different stories in this, and the film is called Nightmares. And I remember watching this one when I was a kid. So when this finally came out on Blu-ray, I had to have it. Well, I didn't get it right off. I had to wait because this was a Scream Factory release, and I know how a lot of people feel about Scream Factory, but the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, that whether you love Scream Factory or hate Scream Factory or are on the fence about Scream Factory, they do put out some good films. Maybe not all the films are good, but and I'm of the frame of mind that if it's the only place you can get a movie that you love, why would you sit on your hands and wait for another company just for the principle of the matter, sit for possibly years waiting for another company to put it out? Hell, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to tell you right now, if I could absolutely hate Scream Factory, which I don't, but I could, and if they came out with a movie that I like, and I think it's going to be years before they lose the rights to it, and it could or could not revert to somebody else, then yeah, when I can afford it, I'm going to buy this film from the company regardless. So now, if it has a really substandard transfer or something like that, and they want bukus of money for it, I may have a second thought and a triple think it, quadruple think it, or whatever. Um, Chris, you are right. Nightmares has a great cast. Emilio Estevez, Lance Henriksen, Veronica Cartwright. Really great anthology. And I agree with you on all points. Now, this is considered an anthology of terror or horror, whatever way you look at it. So, a pack of cigarettes, a video game, a pickup truck, and a stately colonial home all become key elements in four terrifying tales of terror in the anthology film Nightmares, directed by Joseph Sargent, uh, the creator of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and White Lightning. Um, this came out in 1983. Like I said, we have four different stories, which I'm going to break down real quickly for you. So the first, the well, I don't know if I'm talking about these in order, but I do know that the first story is Terror in Topanga. It was one of my favorites of the four. I liked all four, but I have a penchant for liking stories about an escaped serial killer or escaped madman, whatever way you want to look at it. And somebody's out on the road. This person could be in their back seat. They could be stalking them. That just really gets my motor running. Those types of stories. So we've got a chain smoking homemaker played by Christina Rains of the Sentinel. She insists on going out for cigarettes, even when an escaped madman is on the loose in Terror in Topanga. Now, this is a really tense story, in my opinion. It's a tight story, it's tense, hits all the bases. You can't go wrong with this one, in my opinion. You really, really can't go wrong with it. Um, One of the other stories, The Benediction. This is the one that has Lance Henriksen on it. So we have a troubled priest who's seeking to find the faith he has lost on the road, but instead he finds that someone or something in this desert is trying to drive him out of his mind. And we're not sure if it's the devil in this black pickup truck that keeps chasing Lance Henriksen across the desert or not. Another amazing little segment. Like I said, I don't think there's a bad segment in this anthology film. Another one of my favorites, The Bishop of Battle. This is the one that has Emilio Estevez on it. He plays J.J. Cooney. He's a video game hotshot who dares to take on a strange challenger, though it may cost him his life in The Bishop of Battle. Very interesting, very primitive effects for video games, but keep in mind it was 1983. This is the way video games looked in 1983. We didn't have all our PlayStations and Nintendos and Sega Genesis and all those different game systems. Chris, you say Bishop of Battle is your favorite of the four stories. Bishop of Battle always reminded me of this game that I used to always want to play when my parents were bowling on a league. They used to bowl on a Sunday night league, and I would go with them, of course, and Dad would hand us out our customary money. It was like the episode of Roseanne where they go bowling and they give the kids so much money and they say, don't come back asking for any more, this got to last you all night. So that was the kind of thing, like Dad would give us $5 or whatever. And he said, that's it. So use it wisely. And of course, what we do? We went straight for the video games. And for me, that somebody that was terrible at video games, I'm still terrible at video games. I ran through that stuff like water. So what Bishop of Battle reminded me of, that game, reminded me of this game, and I don't know if any of you guys and gals remember it, but it was called Sinistar. And it was one of those games that you sat inside of the game system. And it was very primitive and stuff like that, like Bishop of Battle. But and it kind of unnerved me too because you had to keep um you had to keep Sinistar from building himself. So there were all these little particles that if they all got together, Sinistar would come around and take your ass out. Okay. So that was the object of the game, was to keep Sinistar from forming. So as hard as I tried, Sinistar always got me, and he'd be like, run, 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 ah, when he would get you. And so it was a pretty interesting game, primitive but interesting. And so I always liked the Sinistar game, and so Bishop of Battle kind of reminded me of that old game. TJ, you say I went to the candy machine at the bowling alley. Oh, I went to the candy machine too. I mean, this was back in the days when I could have as much sugar as I wanted, of course. And candy, snacks, soft drinks, all of that stuff. I was game for that. But I think both me and my brother spent most of the money Dad shelled out to us playing the video games. Only my brother was a lot better at the video games than I was. So the last story, Night of the Rat, which I'm always like anything to do with critters. And then if you've got giant, and I don't mean critters from the movie, I mean like snakes, rats, worms, spiders, even though I'm freaked out by spiders. Any of that stuff really gets me going. I love uh, movies or stories about those types of things. So this is about a giant rat who a family had caught its baby, which was the size of a regular house rat that we would see. And so mama's coming to get revenge because they killed her baby. Or, at least caught her baby in one of these traps. And it's kind of hokey and stuff. It looks like a projected image where they've taken a regular sized rat and blown it up. And that's what it looks like. But again, that's part of the charm of this movie, I think, or this particular segment. Um, Chris, no, I never did play Frankenstein's Monster for Atari. A lot of the stuff I played with Atari was like Pong and Frogger. Those were my two big games for Atari. RC Pro Am, wasn't that for Atari? Wasn't RC Pro Am for Atari? I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, Nightmares is a really, really tight knit anthology film. I'd highly recommend it. Again, please don't go out and buy it just because Dana says it's great, right? Try to find yourself a for free copy or borrow it from a friend or a family member that might have it before you make your final decision whether you want to purchase it or not. RC Pro Am was Nintendo. Okay. I get them confused. I told you I wasn't good at video games, Chris. But you love that game? Excuse me. So, I've been on here about 40 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and give my rating for Nightmares. And I'm going to give this one a 4. 4 deadites out of 5 because it's a few more notches up there than Mardi Gras Massacre. I gotta admit to that. And I'm trying to be choosy about what stuff I give 5 deadites out of 5 because I'm sure a lot of those things that I gave 5 deadites out of 5 in the past, you guys are probably like, Dana, you're full of crap. That thing ain't no 5. Well, some things in my mind are a 5, but I'll give this one 4 deadites out of 5. Highly recommend it. Of course, don't just take my word for it. Take a gander at some other reviews. Watch it for free before you purchase. That's always a wise decision. And yeah, I think that is now I'm choosing. Yeah, that's right, TJ. I'm choosy now. Um, but I guess that's all for me from me for right now. Me and Candace will be back in a little over 30 minutes. For Friday Foolish, we're going to be talking about weird and unique foods. And Chris, I'll send you that link here as soon as I get off of this stream. But I want to thank all of y'all for this was a good crowd today for Terror Time Tea. I'm enjoying that. I almost hate to leave, but I got to get prepared for the other show here in a little bit. But I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up as I reviewed another couple of films today and had some tea and a snack. And so I'm off like a dirty shirt until 1. And I want to remind everybody, and I'll remind you again later, because that's become my little tagline, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, folks, and I'll see many of you at 1. Bye for now.